Welcome to CBAP exam preparation course, and we are going to focus on introduction to CBAP certification. So I'm sure you might have done some research of your own. That's how you ended up deciding for CBAP certification. So
Right.
what is your knowledge about this certification, and till what extent you have explored this?
Well, I've gotten as far as signing up at the IIBA site, and I've started to fill out the application, but not quite gotten to start filling in the excuse me, the part with the experience. Only because
Okay.
I want to make sure that I'm putting in the correct information.
Mhm.
With the PMP, I know there's a certain amount of
Mhm.
hours, right, that they look at different knowledge areas.
Mhm.
And it's, you could get audited if you kind of put too much in, like initiating or that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So that was one of the things I wanted to, I guess, get a little bit out of this course, is to making sure that I'm putting in the right um, amount of information or quality of information, because I certainly
Mhm.
have more than enough to qualify,
I
but just making sure that there's no issues with the application.
Mhm. Yeah, perfect. I understand that point because the first step is application, and then you also pay some fee to get that application evaluated. So no one wants to take a chance of getting an application rejected and getting the money wasted in first
Right.
step. So you try to ensure that the right set of details are there. I can help you with that. And I had similar concern when I was filling my application initially. And then I created a sort of matrix that helped me in filling out the application form. So the actual work is not on IIBA website. The actual work needs to be done in an Excel sheet. So there is a format you can utilize, you can leverage in order to fill your application, and it would be very quick for you to do. To fill in application on IIBA website.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, so that's a matrix. Uh, cool. So you are already in the process of filling in an application, and you're looking for some guidance there.
Right.
Great. Do you have any idea about how this exam is conducted? How many hours? How many questions? What all areas are covered? Knowledge areas? All of that.
I believe it's 150 or 175 questions. I know it was
Yeah,
less than the PMP.
it's 150. Yeah,
Okay.
it's 150.
And what, 3 hours?
3.5.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will start getting into those details. Let me quickly change the slides because we will cover everything step by step. So maybe you can tell this, what's in it for me? I mean, you already know about IABA. You know
Right.
the benefits of IIBA professional certification, the criteria. We are going to dig into that. Exam application process, you already know that, but just how to fill it, we are going to cover it.
Right.
The exam outline, we are going to cover that. And then recertification requirements. So recertification is all about getting a certificate renewed. So I can share with you how you can get it renewed. Again, there are various areas wherein you have to earn the development unit so that you can get your certification renewed. It needs to be renewed every 3 years. So that's
Okay.
how it is. Yeah. Okay. IIBA, I I think you are already aware of this.
Right.
It
Yeah, I've been
defines
there
the
too.
standards through BABOK guide, identifies the necessary skills, and through. So they have ECBA, CCBA, CBAP. There is a fourth certification that they are working on. It's for
A
those.
senior. Right.
Yeah, that's a lead kind of level wherein 10 years of experience is required in order to
Right. Well,
qualify.
that's what I have, but that one's not available yet.
Yeah, that's not what available. Even I'm waiting for that.
Uh,
So that's great. Okay, membership benefits. You are aware of these? You can.
Yeah, I know that they have different local chapters that have
Yeah.
knowledge meetings and that sort of thing. Because as I've said, I've been to the site and poked around in quite a few areas to learn more about just the whole process and what the benefits are. So
Mhm.
um, and also I
Yeah.
know
So
part of gaining the PDUs for the future certification, you kind of need to um, keep up with the webinars and that sort of thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So you're talking about the renewal part. Okay, so one thing I like about this membership is you get access to an online library wherein you have different material that you can go through, and that's very contemporary material. I mean, there are BAs who are contributing to that material, who are working in different industries. You get to learn from them. Of course, you have a BABOK guide.
Right, I've gotten
Uh,
mine.
yeah, so I mean, not only guide, there are different webinar series, as you just said. You can certainly take advantage of them, but that's not the only set of or list of webinars that you have to go through in order to renew your certification. There are a lot of other webinars that you can search, which align with some of the BA activities, and you can certainly add to your PDUs. Secondly, I like that it lets you uh, to add to your network because I have attended two IABA conferences that happened in recent past in India, Bangalore. So it's a kind of 3 days event. So what happens is there are people from various industries, and those are very senior people. They are learned people. So they give seminars and sessions spread for like 2 to 3 hours, and then there are multiple big auditoriums wherein these seminars are happening, and then you can attend as per your interest. So they have partnered with the Forrester Research company. I'm sure you know about that, and they also talk about Gartner published articles and materials. So basically, so there are a lot of things that happen. If I may share quickly with you, they're looking to come up with these specialized business analyst certifications. And for this, they have partnered with the research companies like Forrester Research because they want to find out what BA skills are there in market, which are picking up the pace, and what they should know. So basically, they are looking to expand uh, the certification model beyond the CBAP, because CBAP is like it gives you a holistic picture of how BA can perform his or her tasks and activities, right? So they are looking to go beyond. So you really get to know how they are thinking by attending these seminars, and of course, I mean, it's not membership dependent, but I'm just sharing with you because that helps. I mean, if you get a chance uh, to attend those seminars, and of course, there are people from data science field, there are people from artificial intelligence, so you get to know the capabilities that business analyst can suggest to his organization whenever solution is uh, discussed. So that
Right.
adds value to BA skills. So I mean, and it keeps on changing. Each year it has different theme. So this last year it was frictionless experience for customers. So they came up with different topics, and different scholars talked about that. They also called people from academics. So it was very interesting. I'll not go any further in that direction, but I encourage everyone to at least attend one so that they get a hang of it, what exactly it is. Right.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll move on to next one. So benefits. I don't think I need to tell you this. You already know this stuff.
Right.
Benefits for CBAP certification. Uh, at individual level, I mean, you gain all of this.
Right.
So at organizational level, of course, you can add value as a business analyst because you get exposed to so many areas wherein BA becomes active, and he or she starts thinking not only at the individual team level, but at organizational level. He can start uh, recognizing the strategic themes. He can understand the strategic themes and how they are aligned with the product that he is working on, right? So
Right.
in your case, there must be various insurance products, and each one of them might have got their own strategic themes that your organization decides. Uh, so, yeah, I mean, it helps at organizational level too.
Yeah, yeah. Except, one of the bigger organizations that I worked for, um, suggested as one of my goals was to start looking into getting certified. And I said, well, I was thinking about, well, I started with the PMP because I thought at the point I was a senior BA. And like, well, we don't see your career going that direction, which that's probably what drove me to be taking the, the PMP certification. But
Mhm.
then they downgraded to, well, what about the CBAP? I'm like, sure. But then they wouldn't fund it. So, it goes a different way when they don't see the value that is being added to their organization, where they're not looking to even certify any of their BAs. And they had quite a sophisticated BA structure that most companies don't have. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it went up high as a director and senior director roles, just in the BA path. Most is
Mhm.
you get to the senior BA and then you're a PM. But they
Mhm.
had, like I said, just a very, very high level um,
Yeah, I
growth
get your
of
point.
being willing to train.
Yeah, Gina, I get your point, but I think a lot of that is changing now because I'm sure you might have heard about Agile and Scrum.
Yes, yes, I do have my CSM certification.
Oh, that's great. So you can understand the value that Agile can offer vis-a-vis, I mean, if you compare that with PMP certification. So I don't discourage anyone to go for
Right.
PMP. It has a very nice structure to that. But a lot of it, I'm not sure if project managers are using it these days. And secondly, I wanted to discuss the point you highlighted, wherein BAs, once they reach senior level, they actually move to PMs. So even a lot of that is changing because there are product owner roles in agile format, wherein the product owners were previously business analysts, and because of their domain knowledge, their collaboration skills, and being close to business stakeholders, they are in better position uh, to, to to be able to create product backlogs and get BA's assistance in order to groom them. So product owners, senior product owners, and then there are squad leaders, and then there is merging of a lot of roles that is happening. So industry is going through a lot of changes. So I would say CBAP has a great value because it it can give depth and breadth both to BA skills and knowledge. It puts you in a position actually wherein you can create a center of excellence for BAs in your organization. So if you
Right.
don't have a center of excellence currently in your organization, only, I mean, exclusively for BAs, I think that's a must-have requirement because that's when, and we call it chapter in the terminology that Spotify model uses. So I'll not dig more around that,
Okay.
what they are called in Spotify model, but just want to highlight because you are highlighting this fact that BAs are like there is no growth path for them. I
Yeah.
see, yeah, I see a lot of organizations are recognizing this fact that we need to have center of excellence and they need to be aligned at strategic level when it comes to organizational thinking. So PMs are more around the execution part because they have to handle multiple, the development part, the testing part, the analysis part, and the business cases, and I mean, cost estimation and a lot of that stuff. But VA is the only role that is aligned with the product thinking, right?
Right.
So I think that has some value add. And once we go through this course, you will identify so many areas wherein you can see that it has a great value add to an organization. Of course, at individual level also, but at organization level.
Right. I agree.
Great. So we'll move on to some criteria. I think you already know about them, that minimum 7,500 hours of business analysis experience. And these hours are on the basis of the six knowledge areas. And if you don't have these hours, 7,500 in these six knowledge areas, you should minimum have 900 hours at least in four
Oh,
of the six
more
knowledge
than
areas.
that.
Yeah, so you certainly qualify for that.
Yeah. And then the two
Professional, yeah.
references.
Yeah, to reference, you can ask your manager or your colleague who is a BA. Ideally, I recommend someone who has seen you working as a BA, and
Okay.
then and another one, if someone who is already a CBAP, it's good
Yeah.
because
I don't
that
have
guy
any.
knows.
No anyone wants to see back, which is
Oh,
sad.
okay. So that is not a minimum requirement. You
Yeah.
can still take a reference from someone
Okay.
else. That's not a big deal. But that is great. I mean, if no one is if no one is CBAP, then I think it's a great opportunity for you
Right.
to bring that change. I would think so. Of course, you sign code of conduct. There are certain things you need to read and then say, yes, I agree to these terms and conditions. I will not breach this and that. So there's a lot of information there, right, for the profession. Application and exam process, you already know this. And
Right.
I usually tell candidates that step four usually comes much before step one here, because you start preparing for exam much before you have actually applied and you have started filling in application. Because the first thing you want to have a look at is the content that BABOK content is, and you want to gain a little confidence before you can actually submit an application, because there is a fixed time period wherein uh, you have submitted an application and you have to register for an exam. It's not very short, but usually what happens is you keep on postponing your preparation. So I've seen that. But what I suggest people is, don't postpone step four. Keep preparing for the exam, because I'm going to share how this exam is shaped. It's little tricky, but it's not something which is impossible. I see a lot of candidates, they get scared when they see the BABOK the BABOK content, because it has so many inputs, outputs, and the tasks and activities involved. There are elements, there are guidelines and tools, and each knowledge area is broken down into so many areas that it's little intimidating at when you look at it for the first time.
Okay.
So I'm going to share. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just sharing
Well,
that.
again, because I'm preparing for the PMP, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure from what it might be very similar. I actually failed it the first time because I
Hmm.
prepared incorrectly. I prepared for how I've taken tests in the past, so I know, the vocabulary, the main concepts, and what what it meant. But
Hmm.
the whole test was situational, where
Hmm.
it just, very few really resorted back to saying, well, what is this process, or what happens here. And if parts of it did get very tricky, because with them there were, like, in certain cases, two correct answers, but then it's like, well, which is the best one, or which is the best practice that really
Yeah.
should be doing. So um, let's see how this content is, and I could
Yeah.
compare it.
There is very thin line between the answers. So it seems everything is correct, but which one is perfect? That's what you need to select. And
Okay.
I think that's the beauty of this exam, because in order to succeed, you prepare so well that you don't forget this content immediately 3 or 4 months after the exam. It remains with you forever, I have seen, because you keep looking, I mean, you keep doing those things related to business analysis, which will always fall in some or the other areas here. And you get exposed to so many new techniques which you already have heard before,
Right.
but you haven't ever realized that, oh, I could have used this also. And there is a way to do that, right? So there are things like which we hear in our normal BA working, but we are not able to apply. We are not able to decide where it should be applied. That's how I wanted to
Right.
share.
Okay.
You're pretty sure about that. Okay.
Right.
Membership. All right. Preparing for exam. Okay. You know, it's a 150 multiple choice question exam, four possible answers, 3.5 hours long exam. So what you need to do, I think here it is too much. You don't need to do that much. What you need to do, I'll tell, you need to review the IIBA BABOK guide at least 2 times. At
Okay.
least 2 times, right? So how I suggest candidates is just read it once without trying to understand everything. Just try to familiarize yourself. It will give you a picture of what you are going to read in your second reading, right?
Okay.
Because what happens is, and it's not something which is not understandable. I mean, everything you read, you will be able to relate it somewhere in your job and in your experience. And that's why I say, if you're not able to understand one or two things, just keep reading it in one go,
Right. And this
right?
is the version 3, right? Point oh.
Version 3. Yes.
Okay. Correct.
Three.
Okay.
So version 3, and in your second reading, you will start getting the hang of things. And after second reading, what I suggest is to create a form of Excel sheet wherein you actually put you create a tab for each of the knowledge areas. There are 6 knowledge areas. And then on each tab, you detail you list down all the tasks that are given, and for each task, what is the input, what is the output, what are the guidelines and the tools, what are the elements or concepts that you need to be aware of. So BABOK tells you all of that, right? We are going to cover all of that. But still, I suggest, I mean, once you have gone through the content, you need to process it in your mind in your own way, right? So once
Right.
you create those sheets, it will give you a kind of quick view, and you can always refer back to that whenever you are trying to attempt questions. So you can try to attempt questions initially yourself without referring to any material based on your memory. And if you're not able to answer it, maybe you can refer to those sheets if it really is required.
Right.
But that is something you can even carry in your laptop whenever you have time. You can refer to that, and that's how. So we can definitely discuss more how to do it. Uh, so there are a few more suggestions here. There are some learning guides, which are an online library. There are some frequently asked questions on IIB website. There are some recommended resources on IIBA. Attend training as needed. You already are doing that. Find
Mhm.
opportunities to practice tasks. I suggest this part also. This is important because if you start relating your learning to your doing, it helps to reinforce that learning.
Right.
Find a find a BA mentor. I don't think you would require that because you're already pretty experienced.
Right.
So not required. Join a study group. Uh, I personally don't suggest this. I mean, it's on your learning style. If you, but you get it fast when you are doing it yourself because you can vary
Yeah.
your pace.
And my schedule is pretty, you
Dynamic.
know, dynamic. Where I study on the trains. I study an hour here, an hour there at lunchtime. So, for me
Yeah,
to find
that's
that,
great.
yeah. So yeah, or I can stay up
So
late and study. That kind of thing is completely different than
that's great. You have commuting time to study. That's a very great part. I mean,
yeah.
if you are not to if you're not driving and you're
Right.
taking train, so it's a great. time to do all of that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
attend local IABA chapter meetings. I won't suggest you till you are CBAP certified because I don't think this can add any value to your learning.
Right.
Video available study guide. So you don't. There are multiple things in market, and everyone promises to get you certified in one go. Don't do multiple things. Just focus on one thing, which is BABOK and the content I'm sharing here. Right.
Okay.
So cool. So this is something very important. There are 6 domains: business analysis, planning, and monitoring. So this is sort of first stage I see in our business analysis work. 14% of the questions out of 150 will be on this area. Elicitation and collaboration, 12%. Requirements, lifecycle management, 15%. Strategy analysis, 15%. Requirement analysis and design definition. This is very important part because 30% of the questions are covered here. And I think you would agree, I mean, as BAs, this is one of the most important aspect wherein you are analyzing the requirements, and then there are certain designs that are thought around, and some definition is given to those designs so that the solution can take I mean solution can start progressing on the basis of those designs. So this is something where a lot of time is required from BA, right?
Right.
So that's why 30% questions on this part. Solution evaluation. This is our back testing. This is our unit, I mean, user acceptance testing. So I'm sure you might have got these done in your projects:
Yes.
business acceptance test and user acceptance test. So that's where you are evaluating the solution, right? So that was about the areas. Recertification, I think we don't need to go into the reasons of
No.
recertification
Yeah.
because we know that,
Plus, I'm sure they're gonna be notifying you when it's coming close, so they can get back
yeah,
their money.
yeah, that's what they do. Okay, so there are ways of renewing your certifications. Again, let's focus on getting certified, and I can certainly share how you can renew it. There are various ways. They are given on. There is a handbook that is given on IABA website, which you can download whenever your certification is expiring. There are
Mhm.
various ways of getting it renewed. Uh, I like the way they have they ask the certified CBAPs to get it renewed because it so there is a limit in each of these areas, right? You see these CDU categories,
Right.
formal academic. So there is a limit that you can derive PDUs from each of these areas. So like formal, so let's say you need 60 PDUs to renew your certification. Formal education can only be used till 15. Professional development can only be used till 10 PDUs. Self-directed learning maybe 15. Volunteer surveys maybe 5. Professional experience on the basis of number of years you have worked after you were certified.
Mhm.
That's how it is calculated. So there is a way to calculate that, right?
Oh, okay.
That's how you arrive at 60. The recommendation is to at least get 80 PDUs before you submit because they may find that 5 or 10 PDUs are not relevant. So even if they deduct, you at least land up at minimum, which is 60.
Wow.
So that's
Okay.
how, yep. So that's how it is. Okay. So key takeaways. IIBA assists business analysts by defining standards for BA, identifying the skills needed for BA, and recognizing BA professionals. This is very important. I like this part, recognizing BA professionals. With an IABA membership, you can elevate your skill set, develop leadership skills, and expand your network. Membership provides several benefits. We know that to individual and to organization. To prepare, there are certain ways. We already covered that. Fifth, applying and taking the exam is a 5-step process. We know that. We know exam is 3.5 hours long and consists of 150 multiple choice questions.
All right.
CBAP recertification program helps individuals demonstrate an ongoing professional commitment to the business analysis profession. So that concludes CBAP certification introduction.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.